All right, very first thing I want to do is I want to move everything over to this side except for the 3x, okay? Because remember, it's x equals, okay? So I'll leave the 3x here. I want the y squared to be positive if I can, okay? Sometimes you can't do that. If that was plus y, you'd have to move it over and you've got a problem. Eventually it would be negative anyway. So I have y squared plus 8y plus 31. Okay? Now I'm not going to mess with this right now. I'm going to work my way through here. So I have y squared plus 8y plus blank plus 31 plus blank. All right, what's half of 8? 4. 4 squared is 16. So what do I have to add there? Negative 16. Okay? So then I'm coming over here. Remember, I still have 3x here, 3x here. I factor that, so I have x plus 4 squared plus positive 15, right? You with me so far? Now I have to divide by 3, but there's 2 terms here. Okay, so what happens is I have x is equal to 1/3 y plus 4 squared, because that's my a. Okay, what's 15 divided by 3? 5. Okay, so there's my equation. Okay, let me rewrite this at the top. All right, now let's come over here and do all the stuff. Now this is going to be a parabola that opens right and left. Okay, not up and down. So now I'm going to be on the right hand side, just looking at the way I've got everything set up. What is my a value?
1/3.
1/3. Good. Okay, because that's my a. Now your a can be 1. Okay, a lot of times your a would be 1 because you wouldn't factor out anything. Okay, what is my h value?
5.
5. Huge, huge spot for a mistake. Okay, because you're used to your x or your h being right here and your k being right here. What's my k value?
-4.
-4. Okay, now the reason why I would encourage you to write those out is because then you don't have to mess with that anymore. Okay, you don't have to really be looking at it to go, now what? Now, the other thing that I find helpful is if you'll go ahead and sketch graph it, it'll make you make everything else a whole lot easier. Okay, so as you go through these, you put it on your graph. Okay, so I'm coming through here. What's my axis of symmetry?
-4.
Right here, just follow in. Okay, y equals -4. Now y is a horizontal line, right? If I just y equals, because remember the y turns to an h. So -4, and I'll tell you what I would do, and I'm not doing it up here very well. I would use colored pencils. Okay, and I would do like my axis of symmetry in one color, maybe my focus and my directrix in another color, and the parabola in a different color. Okay, I think that would help. Okay, so I've got my axis of symmetry. What is my vertex?
-4, 5.
No. That's still my x. So it's
5, -4.
5, -4. That's the one thing that doesn't change. If I've got it written up there, then it's easy for me to do that. Because see, that's the same in both spots. Okay? So my 5, 4, or 5, -4, is going to be right there on my axis of symmetry. All right? So then I'm going to go to the focus. Now the focus is inside my curve, so it might help if I skip down here to the direction and know that if my A is positive, where are my positive numbers on my number line? To the right. So my parabola opens right if it's positive and left if it's negative. So this one is positive, so it's going to open right, okay? Which means my focus is going to be over here. Okay, it's going to be inside my curve. So let me figure out my focus. My focus here, I take the h, which is the 5, plus 1 over 4a. Now be careful, okay? 1, or h, which is 5, plus 1 over 4 times, what's my a?
1/3.
1/3. So what I have is 5 plus 1 over 4/3. What? Okay. If it's underneath this, what do I do to that? I'm going to flip it. So it's the same thing as 5 plus 3/4. Okay. I lost you, didn't I? Okay. 1 divided by 4/3. What's the rule for division of fractions? You invert and multiply. So 1 times 3 over 4. What's times 3 over 4? 3/4. Okay. So that's why this right here is it's 5 plus 3/4. And then of course the k as it stands, which is -4. So this is going to be, and you can just say 5 3/4. So you can say 5.75, okay? This is just going to help you graph it. Obviously, I'm checking those things here. So if I go 5 3/4, okay, now that's 5 right here. 5 3/4 is going to be almost to my 6. Okay, I'm just going to put an X there. Then my directrix, remember, here's my equation, is h, which is 5. But this time, it's going to be minus whatever I added to it. So it's going to be minus the 3/4, okay? Because it's minus 1 over 4a. What was 1 over 4a? 3/4. Okay, so therefore, then I know that this is going to be x equals, which is a vertical line, 4 and 1/4, right? Isn't that 5 minus 3/4? 4 and 1/4. I'm going to go back. The same distance, actually, I curved my line. Okay, like I said, you might want to do that in a different color. I would encourage you to do the focus and the directrix in the same color. Okay, so far so good. Okay, I know it opens right. The one thing I have left is the length of the lattice rectum. Okay, now remember the length is 1 over a. 1 over 1/3, what's that equal to? 3. Okay, so the length of the lattice rectum is 3, and it's the absolute value. It's always going to be positive. Okay, now, what's half of 3? 1.5. So from my x, I'm going to go up 1.5, and I'm going to go down 1.5. And that's going to form my parabola. It's not for the faint of heart. Okay, this stuff is a little hard. Okay, I think in the past, just the students have had the hardest time with the parabola. After you do the parabola, everything else, because you're going to continue stuff like this. So the first time you use it, you're going, that's really tough. But then the second time you use it, you go, oh, I know how to do this. I just got to find my A, my H, and my K and fill it in. Okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop and give you your homework. Now, this is what I'm going to say. The first section, you won't have any problem with whatsoever. That's going to be your midpoint and your distance. When you get to this section, you're going to struggle a little bit. Okay, so just do the best job you can. We'll regroup on it. If we have to spend 2 days on the parabola, we'll spend 2 days on it. Okay? Now, I have had some classes that they have like stopped for Christmas break in the middle of this chapter. That was bad. Okay, so you guys, at least your timing is perfect. Okay, so that's a positive thing. Obviously, you're not having a quiz on this tomorrow. Okay, it's just not that kind of material yet. Probably when we get to some of the easier stuff like the circle, we'll take our quiz on the circle. All right, on page 441. oh no, 411, I'm sorry. Got you farther in the book than when you were. Okay, 411 to 412. I want you to do, and this is all midpoint and distance, just make sure you read the instructions. Some of it is kind of working backwards. They give you the midpoint, they give you one endpoint, you gotta find the other one. So, 12 through 32 even. And then on the parabola, they're not gonna, obviously you can't do a whole lot of them, okay? So on page 420, I want you to do, 16 through 28 even. Now, listen to me. I don't know what the directions on that say. What I want you to do is I want you to do what we did here. I want you to make the list, okay? You've got that little cheat sheet, just go down the cheat sheet. I do think it says, well actually, I don't think any, oh yeah, it does say graphic. So do exactly what we've done on the board, okay? And we will regroup tomorrow and fix any problems that we are gonna have, and we are gonna